All hell is breaking loose as air sirens were going off in Poland as Russia was targeting western Ukraine, and it appeared that some of those ballistic missiles and perhaps drones could have been encroaching into Poland in the Lublin area. We know there was some massive strikes by Putin and Russia in Lviv in western Ukraine, but in eastern Poland, in the Lublin area, air sirens were going off all throughout the night. There was some conflicting reporting of ballistic missiles perhaps encroaching into Poland territory, although conflicting reports. What we do know is that there were a lot of people very worried in Poland over the fact that there could have been a Russian attack and that those attacks are moving closer to eastern Poland. Let me play for you some of this footage of these sirens all last night into the early morning that could be heard in Lublin, Poland. Let me play this for you. Here's another angle of additional location where you heard those sirens sounding in Lublin, Poland, due to a potential Russian military threat. Let's play it. Now you go a little more east, or western Ukraine, that is. I'll share with you this insane footage from Lviv in Ukraine, where there were indeed confirmed massive Russian ballistic missiles and Shahed drone strikes, as Ukraine and Zelenskyy simply lack the Patriot interceptors to be able to shoot down the ballistics from Russia. Ukraine indeed has the interceptors when it comes to drones, not the ballistic missiles. Donald Trump had previously promised that he was going to be providing these via a program with Europe where Europe would buy the interceptors. Trump didn't provide them, and the U.S. has now run very low on its interceptor stockpile as a result of the catastrophic and unlawful war in Iran. Let me show you what it looked like in Lviv in Ukraine. You can see these direct hits for yourself. Let's play it. More scenes from Lviv, Ukraine, western Ukraine. Again, pretty close to the Poland border. Let me share this with you, and I'll show you some more scenes right here from Lviv, Ukraine, where there were some casualties, tragically. You can see right here, obviously. They endured a bombardment of these Russian ballistics. Here, play this clip. Now, it should be noted that Ukraine has indeed been striking hard in Russia. We've been covering here all of those direct hits on those Wildberry logistic facilities. For those who don't know, Wildberries is like the Amazon of Russia. They have these massive warehouses like Amazon does in the United States. And it's always been alleged that the Wildberries facilities are actually being used for a lot of military productions for the Russian military, for equipment, for drones, for transport, for other things. Let me share this with you. This was a direct hit over in the Penza facility. You can hear and see at night Ukraine striking hard in Penza. Play this clip. You can take a look over here, a chart of the Wildberries facilities that have been destroyed in the past 2 to 3 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about of the 20, more than 50% of the Wildberries logistical centers have been hit, some far worse than others. I just showed you that strike in Penza. Should also be noted, in addition to Penza, there was also a Wildberries in Ryazan that was hit as well. But let me just share with you some of the other views right here in Penza, Russia, after the Ukrainian drone impact. Let's play it. And another view right here. Let's play it. Let me talk about some other Ukraine direct strikes. The Perm oil refinery became the second Russian refinery attacked by Ukrainian drones in the morning after Ryazan. That facility can process 13.1 million tons of crude annually. You can see right here this AVT-5 primary oil processing unit at Lukoil's Perm refinery on fire. I'll just play the B-roll of it after today's drone strike right here. Show you some more B-roll of what this looks like. Let me show you this pair of Ukrainian Firepoint 1, these FP1 strike drones flying over Ryazan in the morning during this attack. And remember, in Ryazan, they hit the Ryazan refinery, and they also hit a Wildberries. And just take a look at what these drones looked like heading over. Let's play it.
Ой, сразу два, вот.
Yeah, hat tip to Special Kirsten Cat over there for the great aggregation over here. Footage of the burning Wildberries logistic hub in Ryazan. The blaze is substantial. Had not engulfed the entire 173,000 square meters, Kirsten Cat explains, but still very, very serious fire taking place. Let me share that with you so you can see it for yourself. Let's play it.
Горит склад Рязань. Привезли поставку, отгружать ее уже некуда. Написала в техподдержку.
If you've ever actually looked at the ingredient list on your dog's food, it gets pretty wild after the first ingredient. Half of it sounds like something from a chemistry textbook, and it got me thinking, if I wouldn't want to eat food packed with ingredients I can't even pronounce, why would I want that for my dog? That's one of the reasons that we switched to Sundays for dogs. Sundays is different. They start with 80% plus all natural meats, then add superfoods like kale, ginger, and blueberries, and gently air drying everything instead of blasting it with high heat. It doesn't even look or smell like typical dog food. It looks like high-quality human-grade jerky. No fillers, no nutritional blends, no chemicals, just simple, complete nutrition. It was founded by Dr. Tori Waxman, who created Sundays to meet her standards as both a veterinarian and a dog parent. And Mochi, my dog, absolutely loves it. Mealtime has become something she actually gets excited about, and I've noticed that she has more energy, her coat looks great, and I just feel better knowing that I'm feeding her real quality food. The other thing I love is, well, how easy it is. There's no fridge, no freezer, no prep, and no mess. You get the quality of a home-cooked meal with the scoop and serve convenience of kibble. It's really what dog food should have been all along. Over 100,000 dogs are already eating Sundays, and it's easy to see why. Make the switch to Sundays. Go right now to sundaysfordogs.com/Meidas50 and get 50% off your first order, or you can use code Meidas50 at checkout. That's 50% off your first order at sundaysfordogs.com/Meidas50. sundaysfordogs.com/Meidas50, or use code Meidas50 at checkout. That's MEIDAS50.
Now here is footage, or photo rather, of the Wildberries in Penza. Right, there was a Wildberries in Penza, Wildberries in Ryazan, And then there was the attack on the Perm facility as well. Also, a Ukrainian Shark drone located a Russian command post, B-roll, it occupied in the Luhansk Oblast, enabling this GBU-64 strike right here I'm about to show you. At least 18 Russian personnel were killed, including several senior officers, and dozens wounded, including Russian Colonel Stremenko Vadim Alexandrovich was killed in that operation as well. I'll share with you over here some footage from aboard a speeding Russian military train engulfed in flames after its fuel tanker convoy was struck over there. Now, there was strikes, as I mentioned, in Lviv was hit really hard. Kyiv was hit hard. You can see right here in Kyiv a massive fire engulfing the market stalls of Pechanya Street after a strike right there. I'll show you this in the Kyiv metro area. This is what it looked like last night as Kyiv came under massive bombardment by these Russian ballistics. Let's play it. Now, it should also be noted the significance of those alarms going off, those sirens going off in Lublin. Indeed, President Zelenskyy was in Poland. He was in Lublin, where he met with the Prime Minister Donald Tusk. They discussed many bilateral issues, including the historic dialogue between the countries. They spoke about the diplomatic work going on in Washington, talked about defense cooperation and priority issues for protecting the cities and communities from brutal Russian attacks. Zelenskyy says anti-ballistic missiles are a key priority. We separately discussed security challenges, which unfortunately also exist for our people. It is important that Ukrainians who left their homes due to the war and found refuge in Poland feel safe. Now, one of the red flags that I've been sharing is a bit paradoxical in a way, right? Donald Trump recently appeared, but you can never go by appearances. You always have to look at conduct, not appearances, right? The appearance is that Donald Trump seemed more sympathetic to Zelenskyy. When Zelenskyy arrived, even though there was no meeting before the press, Trump had a bit of a different tone. The regime has been talking about a sanctions package against Russia, which was pushed through in the United States Senate. But you see, I've been raising a lot of red flags, and I want to discuss them with you. Very important stuff here. Number one, everything Trump touches goes to shit or dies, excuse my language. So when you have Trump and Laura Loomer and Tim Pool and all of them kind of switching sides and going from Russia to Ukraine, that intuitively raises my spidey sense, and I go, oh, what's going on? What's really going on behind the scenes? And often it's, a lot of people can have, is there? I'm asking questions, and I'm asking opinion-based questions, to be clear. Is there money interest? Is there other motivations taking place behind the scenes, or maybe just obviously in front of the scenes? But one of Donald Trump's tactics, and we talk about this in WTF America, by the way, pre-order it for October. One of his tactics is, he'll use all forms of manipulation in order to try to cause harm. And so sometimes he'll love bomb and he'll pretend I like you now, but that just is to try to draw you in and then screw you even more. So I said, okay, well, let's see what's actually happening. He may pretend that he has a better relationship with Zelenskyy, but ultimately that may be an effort for further manipulation in order to still hurt Zelenskyy. And ultimately, Trump would be fine if Zelenskyy and Ukraine was fully taken over by Russia. So was it part of more of an information gathering by Trump to get data from Zelenskyy to ultimately give to Putin? Not only can we not rule that out, I think we probably, in my opinion, should rule that at the top of something, that if you let down your guard and you think Trump's helping, he could try to extract information from what's going going on in the front? Tell me about this. Tell me about that. Zelenskyy, give me the information. And then he does one of those 90-minute talks with Putin. All right, here's what Zelenskyy told me. Here's what they told me. Here's what they told me. Here's what they told me. Lure him in and then give the info to Putin. I'm just raising that, in my opinion, as a red flag. Now, there were lots of people too I saw, who were very critical of some of the Democrats in the Senate who voted against a bill in the Senate that was like in Lindsey Graham's honor, right, to sanction Russia. And there were a number of Democrats who voted against it. Like, why would you vote against it? Don't you want to sanction Russia? Well, if you actually read the legislation, one of the red flags is that it's an honorarium for Lindsey Graham. That should be a red flag right there, right? But when you actually read it, what it says is not that the sanctions against Russia are mandatory. It provides a discretionary tool for Donald Trump to impose tariffs against countries that Trump, in his discretion, claims interacts with Russia. So it's actually not mandating, as my reading of it, guaranteed sanctions against Russia. It gives Trump the discretion to make the call and for him to exercise good faith, and that he has the capability of then wielding this to impose sanctions and tariffs on other countries that he deems are non-compliant. And so it's actually giving Trump options and not a directive. And that's why some people would say, why would you hand him that? He's never going to act in good faith. And it's not, I think that all those Democrats would vote in favor of it if the law clearly said he's mandated on this date to implement these sanctions. That's my reading of it, but you may have a different reading of it. And then my theory, though, my red flags, the spidey sense, I think was validated yesterday in the Oval Office when Donald Trump was asked about, so are you going to give this to Zelenskyy? Are you going to give him the interceptor licenses that he needs? And by the way, the U.S. has depleted its interceptors in the catastrophic and unlawful war against Iran. The U.S. is pretty much out. We still have some, but we're very low on our interceptor stockpiles. So he doesn't want to give it to Zelenskyy, but nor really could he at this point because of the stockpile depletion of Patriot, PAC-3s and THAADs. But Donald Trump's like, I want Zelenskyy to end this war. It's important for him to end it. End the war, Zelenskyy. Okay, if it's that easy, don't you think he would do it? For him to end it, that means give all of Eastern Ukraine to Russia. That's what Putin wants. Putin says, this is our area. We get Eastern Ukraine. And so what do you mean just end the war? That's your solution for this? The great deal man who said on day one he would make peace and everything would be great. That's where he's at. Come on. Let me just show you what he says in the clip. Let's play it.
How was your meeting with President Vladimir Zelenskyy yesterday?
It was good.
Did you see a time scale?
No, it was good. Look, he's out doing his thing. I'd like him to end the war. So it's very simple. I get along with both. I get along with President Putin. I get along with President Zelenskyy. Like I told him, I want to end the war, get the war ended. Thousands of people, 25,000 people died last month. That's standard. And it's not acceptable. So I said, just end the war.
So anyway, I want to raise those flags for you, show you what's going on, give you the real-time images, because I just don't think this is getting enough coverage anywhere. And hat tip to Mac, hat tip to Kershaw, hat tip to Jay and Kiev, hat tip to all of the open source intelligent folks who just do an amazing job, which is just so needed right now. And hat tip to you. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million. Thanks for watching.
Breaking news right now, my brothers and I wrote a book. It's called WTF America. And well, doesn't that just say it all? It comes out officially this October, but you can pre-order your copy today. Just scan the QR code or click the link in the description below.